you will notice that the first person I have on this screen is Curtis Samuel. And folks, I do acknowledge that last year I was probably one of the biggest proponents for creating Curtis Samuel propaganda across the internet. I was very high on this wide receiver. I was sitting here saying, look, I'm making the comparisons between Joe Brady being the offensive coordinator, which just so happened to be Curtis Samuel's best season ever. I thought that he was going to shock the world with his speed, his separation. That is all a part of his skill set. But last year was largely a disappointment. Yes, we could go with the excuse that he was battling a turf toe injury, and the film would even suggest that as well. You look at 75 to 80% of all of his reps, a lot of them were passes behind the line of scrimmage, really weren't utilizing him at the second level, was not asking him to go out and run those intermediate routes, which I think that he would be absolutely excellent at. But this year, my expectations are sky high. And today is fueling my delusion, perhaps, because Curtis Samuel had a hell of a damn day today. 7 on 7s, 11 on 11s. Josh Allen was finding him early and often, in particular intermediate and short routes, all practice long. And folks, my God, we need this from this player. And it's not so much because I'm holding on to the illusion that Curtis Samuel is some sneaky wide receiver number one that we could not crack his potential in 2024. Why I need this to happen and why I need this to come to fruition in 2025 is because we are tied to him contractually. We signed him to a 3-year, $27 million contract, and moving away from him would be a dire financial decision, would actually hurt us from a cap perspective. So he has a cemented spot on this roster, contractually speaking, cap space speaking. So you're damn right I'm happy when I'm seeing him go out on the field and making the plays that I was imagining that he could make once we signed him last offseason. Now, I was looking at a couple of beat reporters that were discussing and perhaps even suggesting how he could be utilized because, like it or not, he has also been running several reps with the running backs. All right. So maybe a gadget guy, if you will. But so is Elijah Moore. I saw somebody on X point out, hey, maybe Joe Brady wants 2 gadget guys this year. And I wouldn't put that past him. Like, we're talking about the same guy that said that he refuses to actually pigeonhole a wide receiver into an X wide receiver or a Y or a Z wide receiver. He prides himself on building this offense from a personnel perspective to being almost unpredictable all across the board. So love the fact that I heard that Curtis Samuel was finally getting his reps. Whether or not that we want to chalk it up that last year's turf toe injury indeed was the issue all along, and now he's going into 2025 ready to hit the ground running. Because those last couple of games during the season, once his number finally was called, including some of those playoff reps that we saw from the wide receiver, I know that his talent is there. And perhaps it was just the chemistry with Josh Allen and him being at 100% health going into the season, which is going to change everything. So Curtis Samuel, you're damn right. I am 110% on board with this performance today.